Imagine you're going to a restaurant for a meal. You walk in, the ambiance is just right, you feel taken care of, you feel special. You hear that the chef is some big shot guy with 3 Michelin stars and that the food is gonna be insanely good. It's gonna be
madness.
You think, okay, I'm in for a great time. As you sit through this meal, the chef says some things that make you think he might be a little off his rocker, absolutely batshit insane. Now, if you're thinking, hey, isn't this the plot of a movie? You're right. This is the plot of The Menu, a culinary dark horror comedy thriller from Mark Mylod released in 2022. In this video, I'm going to choose a few moments from the film and analyze them with the help of literature on power. What about them shows us the power that the head chef Julian Slowik holds, and how that power affects what happens in the restaurant. The first instance of Slowik exerting power over his diners is the setting of the entire film. They're on an island with little to no access to the outside world. They have no cell service and no way to leave. Their main sources of communication, then, must be each other.
Sorry.
The boat leaving about 4 minutes into the movie is our first clue that, hey, this is going to be important later because somebody's maybe going to need to escape and won't be able to. Later on, Margot just doesn't understand why Tyler, her date, is so invested in this whole Hawthorne thing. She asks why he's so into it. Tyler then goes on a long spiel about Slowik's culinary ability, citing his episode of Chef's Table, the Netflix show that documents the lives and careers of famous chefs. He talks up the chef's abilities and makes him sound, honestly, kind of incredible. He says that Slowik works
on the edge of the abyss, which is where God works too. It's the same.
In one of this film's only mentions of divinity being here, Tyler places the chef in a place of ultimate power. So surely Slowik won't abuse that power at all, right?
Is he gonna keep doing that?
Yes. Yes, he is. Those of us familiar with Christianity in any sense might be familiar with the idea of begging for one's daily bread. Slowik takes this in an interesting direction. Instead of serving any bread to his guests, which he says is the food of the common man, he serves a dish of unaccompanied accompaniments and makes guests physically beg to receive bread.
Could we please get a little bread, and some gluten-free for my friend as well?
No.
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 The act of begging is one these diners aren't used to doing, and it's just another way Slowik puts them out of their comfort zone and under his influence. This,
Beat it.
which happens during the same course, gets Slowik's attention, and he's already been keeping tabs on Margot until this point, but it isn't until this that he actually interacts with her.
You haven't touched your food.
There is no food.
Well, no, this is food.
Margot basically doesn't eat anything besides the oyster in a setting where Slowik is not present, and refuses to eat many of the other dishes in his presence. This is the sign that we take as an audience that she cannot be controlled by Slowik as the other diners can. Moving on to the next course, Slowik tells the diners a story where his mother, who is an alcoholic, is attacked by his father, also an alcoholic. In order to protect his mother, a young Slowik stabs his father in the thigh with a pair of scissors. For the next course, he serves the diners a chicken thigh cooked al pastor with a pair of scissors sticking out of it. You can't have tacos without tortillas. These tortillas have been laser engraved with images tailored to each specific diner. Each of them, or just specific diners, have made grave mistakes, and Slowik knows about them. He is swiping the rug out from under people who are used to having control over everything in their lives and acting with complete impunity. He has the power to take that from them and capture some of their most vulnerable moments on a tortilla. So what else does he have the power to do? The next course is called The Mess. Slowik introduces Jeremy Loudon, a sous chef at Hawthorne whose dream was to work there. We see him break down and admit that he doesn't like this life of a chef he thought he wanted, and it looks like it's absolutely killing him. Then, Slowik places a kiss on both of Jeremy's cheeks. No sane person would put themselves through this. In the world of the menu, though, and for the persona built up around Julian Slowik, Jeremy is yet another member of a crew who literally gave up their whole lives, for him right down to the end, to come and live and work on Hawthorne Island. At this point, you might be thinking, how did Slowik even get to open a place like this? He had help from his angel investor Doug Varick, the boss of these guys. Slowik says that up until then, Varick owned everything on the island and thus owned him.
Except now things are a little more complicated, and I own Doug Varick.
Slowik's line about Varick requesting substitutions,
Despite the fact that there are no substitutions at Hawthorne!
Is also interesting considering the reading of Mervyn Nicholson's Food and Power. Nicholson says that control over food signifies independence, and so even if Slowik has control over every other dish besides Doug Varick's, he still doesn't have true independence. The only way to gain that, then, is to get rid of Doug Varick, and what better way to do that than to drown him? Now that Varick is dead and Slowik is free, it's implied that Slowik is now the owner of Hawthorne and the island. He now owns everyone else on the island too, including the diners. He has the ultimate control over everything. There's one more problem that Slowik has to deal with. Tyler.
He knew my name, babe.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't ask his name.
Yeah, well, you know.
Excuse me, sir. Hi.
I called you a child. What you're fucking acting like.
Tyler, you need to apologize to me right now. You cannot speak to me that way.
Actually, I can, because ding dong, I'm the one who's paying, so maybe shut up and eat. Fucking fair. Why do you get a kitchen course? I smoke all day, can't even fucking taste it.
Tyler is childish, controlling, and treats other people like they don't matter, including Margot. It's revealed that Tyler knew everyone was going to die the whole time, and he hired Margot to accompany him because they don't offer solo seatings, and his original companion Vivian Westervelt broke up with him. I wonder why. So, since he's so good at talking the talk, big foodie that he is, Slowik gives Tyler the opportunity to walk the walk and cook.
Tyler, now cook.
What?
Cook. You're a cook.
Oh, I don't know if I can cook. Here.
Cook.
Now?
Cook.
This is a masterclass in humiliation. After building himself up for the whole movie as some sort of culinary maven, Tyler is broken down in front of the whole restaurant, is patronized, and is told his food is bad.
Wow. Wow. It's actually quite bad.
Tyler is in an interesting position here. He wants so badly to enter Slowik's world to show that he knows everything about food, but when he's actually given that opportunity, when he gets to get his hands dirty in the filth and the grime and the nasty bits that make up a kitchen, he can't cut it. Slowik whispers something in Tyler's ear. It's kind of no surprise then that we see Tyler's body hanging in the office a couple minutes later. If I had to go through the breaking down of my entire ego and the person I idolized above everyone else told me my food was quite bad and that I should hang myself, I'd do it too. Margot has had enough. When Slowik and his team go back to plating dessert, she seizes the opportunity to do something none of the diners have succeeded in thus far. She takes control. She asks for what Slowik actually likes to cook.
You know what I'd really like?
Tell me.
A cheeseburger.
Then she does something else he doesn't expect.
Can I get the rest to go?
So Margot gets to leave. She's the final girl. Everyone else is, of course, still trapped. But never fear, it's time for dessert. Before Slowik lights up for s'mores, he has one last message for the gang.
You represent the ruin of my art.
and my life. And now you get to be part of it. Part of what I hope is my masterpiece.
But it's all okay because Margot gets the last laugh. Or should I say, the last bite? So now that we've examined all of these moments, what can we take away from this? First, this movie is designed to be satirical. Even so, it uses horror conventions like the creation of anxiety and playing with power dynamics to build Slowik up as this central figure of control. And I think Mylod does this incredibly well in his directing, and Ralph Fiennes portrays a control freak Julian Slowik extremely well. Second, I think it's important to recognize that the food industry is changing from what this movie sought to represent. It's still very hierarchical, but I believe it's no longer as toxic. Still, this movie should serve as a warning to all those in search of positions of power. Be careful how close you get to the sun, or your wax wings might not stand the heat.